Hi guys, it's Grace with Grace Gets Gastric, and I am here today to do a 2019 goals video. So I mentioned in my ho-ho holiday tag, which I'll link up above, that I don't really do traditional New Year's resolutions. I do goals, and I thought I would sort of do a little explanation as to how I do them and what I do. I've been doing this for a few years. I find it pretty successful. I like it better than traditional resolutions, so I thought I would share. Right, so the way that I do it is I basically think of areas in which areas of my life that make me happy. So things that make me happy in kind of broad buckets, if you will, generally about 5. And then within those buckets, I think of I break it down a little bit further into sort of specific categories, and then within those categories, I come up with specific goals that I can reach for. So my 5 buckets are health, my online communities, travel, mental stimulation, and socializing. So these are all things that bring joy and happiness to my life, and they're all things that I want to continue to work on and grow in order to, grow my happiness. So to start, the first thing is being healthy makes me happy. So within that, my first section of health is nutritional health. So I really worked on focusing on my nutrition in 2018. So for 2019, my goal is really just to continue to stick to my plan. So I don't want to come up with specific macros because I do change those do evolve. So essentially my goal is to stick to my plan, continue to check in with myself, be honest about what I'm eating, and continue to track. So it's really track every day, stick to the plan that I create for myself, and check in and evaluate if that plan doesn't feel like it's working. The next level of health is physical health, specifically more exercise related. And I have several different goals within this one. So I've been working, again, a lot of these goals are things that I worked really hard on in this past year, and I really want to just continue those habits into 2019. So for exercise, my big goal is go to the gym a minimum of 2 times a week, which is my Tuesday, Thursday workouts, which I've been doing consistently since March. So I just want to continue doing at least those 2 workouts a week, those 2 planned exercises. I want to go to a exercise class at my gym at least twice a month. The cost for the additional class memberships, or the membership that allows me unlimited classes, is $10 extra a month. A class by itself, if I were to go one-off, is $5. So I need to go to at least 2 a month to make it worth it. And so these are kind of minimums. I would like to go above and beyond, but I also don't want to set goals so high that I don't even try to achieve them. So I think going to a minimum of 2 is reasonable. Going to the gym twice a week at minimum is reasonable. I would also like to, in sticking with my trying to be a runner thing, I would like to do a 5K within the first half of the year, and then a 10K in the second half of the year. I was originally hoping to do like a 10K in the first half and then maybe something more. But because I still haven't kind of sorted that hip issue yet, I haven't been able to get into a physical therapist. I don't want to set a goal too high. I'm just not sure how reasonable running is going to be until I can get that sorted. So I think 5K and 10K is a reasonable goal for me to shoot for. I also am planning, and I'll talk about this later, but I am going to do a fairly large trip and a hike later in the year. So I need to go on some hikes and look into kind of preparation for that trip so that I am prepared for it. And my goal has been 8K steps a month, so I'm going to try to continue to do an average of 8K steps a month in 2019. And then the the final one in health is mental health. So for mental health, I want to continue to see my therapist every other week. I started doing that at the beginning of last year. I think it's good. I'd like to continue doing it. So meet with my therapist every other week. I'd also like to focus on self-care more. I've been doing okay with that, but I'd like to make it more of a priority. So I want to do at least one self-care activity per week. And that can be some of the bigger things, like I'm planning to still do acupuncture monthly. I get my lashes done monthly. If I get manicures or pedicures, those things will count, but I'm not going to do a big thing every single week. So on those weeks that I don't have something big going on, I'd like to do something smaller, a face mask at home, anything like that. And then also kind of related to the mental and physical, I guess, it's sort of both, is plastics. So that is something that is increasingly on my mind as I get closer and closer to my goal. And I've mentioned before, I talked about it in that video I'll link above, where I started to think more about plastics. I'm thinking it's going to be about a year from now. So I would like to basically figure all that out. Even if I'm not getting plastics in 2019, I should pretty much have it all sorted sometime in 2019 so that I'm ready to go in 2020. So those are my health related goals. And you'll note I don't make goals like lose weight or get to a certain goal weight. Because those, and I talk about this a lot, those are not action-oriented goals. Those are results-oriented, and I don't want to focus on that because I can't always control what the scale says. And I'm trying to build muscle or maintain muscle, and maybe I won't lose a lot of weight, but maybe my body will change a lot. And I think those are how you kind of you end up not succeeding, and because they're not based on your action. Actions will drive that result, but having a goal around the result and not the behaviors that get you there, I think that just kind of breeds, it's just a recipe for failure, kind of setting yourself up for failure. Anyways, moving on. My second thing is online communities make me happy. I have two, I've mentioned that before. I'm not going to talk about my other one on here. I'll focus just on the weight loss surgery community, and it does make me happy. So the first facet of my online communities is YouTube. It's my favorite one of the ones that I kind of participate in. So I would like to, in 2019, continue to post one video a week, at least. I've been posting more like 2 videos a week, especially more recently, but I want to commit to at least 1 video a week. I don't want to necessarily commit 100% to doing weekly update videos every single week because right now I feel like that's good, but that might change as I get farther out. Maybe by the end of the year it'll be more of a once monthly, but I would like to have other content. So my goal for 2019 is 1 video a week. And then I would also just like to continue to watch and support my fellow YouTubers in the community. I think more than just posting videos, I think watching videos, interacting with people, commenting and giving support is, I mean, that's what makes a community. So I think that's very important. And then the other aspect is Instagram. So I am on Instagram and I do enjoy it. I'm not on there as much as YouTube. I don't like it as much as YouTube, but I do like it. And it is easier for quicker interactions. So I've been more or less posting once a day. I would like to continue that trend. I'm going to say more like post 5 times a week. I don't always post every single day. I would say though, maybe 29 out of 30 days in the month I post. So I'd like to continue with that trend, continue to post content over there and continue to engage, interact. I have a goal of just storying more, making more stories. I don't know why I feel weird about those when I make videos, but I do. But I'd like to do that more. I do think that's one of the bigger ways to engage with people is stories. And then I guess this is another category is meeting in person, real life people. I would love to meet someone in real life in 2019 again. I've met a couple of people in 2018. It was great. It was wonderful. So a goal for 2019 is to at least meet one person from the online community in real life because I think that's a lot of fun. So third bucket of happiness is that travel makes me happy. I love to travel. It's very important to me. And the first subsection is international travel. So I have a personal goal where I do international travel at least every other year. I didn't do an international trip in 2018, which means 2019 is the year. And so I'm going to Peru, to Machu Picchu specifically. I haven't decided when yet. I haven't planned the trip at all. That's actually kind of a goal to do in January. So I guess part of that goal is plan my international trip to Peru and go on it. So that's part of why I want to make sure that physically I am in top shape to be climbing temples, etc. And then my other section there is national travel. So I do like to go somewhere new every year. And so somewhere new in the United States every single year. Currently I have one planned trip and one tentative trip already. I'm going to Orlando in February for sure, and I have another tentative trip, and both of those are the places that I've already been before. So I need to figure out where I'm going to go that I haven't been before. I have two close friends that live in Pittsburgh. I've never been there, and one of them is actually moving at the end of summer. So I'm thinking Pittsburgh is going to be the place so I can go and visit them both at the same time. I just need to look into logistics, but it's looking like that might be the one in May. But I need to determine where I'm going and go there. Next, I have got mental stimulation. Makes me happy. I need someone, I like to learn. I like to grow. I like to constantly be doing things. So the first aspect of this is career. If you watch my videos, you know that I accepted a new position with the place that I work, a permanent position back in October. While I accepted it back in October, I've technically been covering for someone out on maternity leave. So though the position officially started in October, I'm not actually technically doing those duties until January. So my job really kind of starts in January. And so my primary goal is really just to learn as much as possible, get as much out of this new position that I can. And also to, in 2019, I really want to think about what I want my next career move to be so that I am kind of ready to move on it. My plan is to stay with the company I'm at right now until after plastics, and then I probably want to very soon after move on. So having a plan for that is good. And then the other thing in mental stimulation is reading. I adore reading. I love it. I've always been a big reader. This past year, I believe I'm somewhere in the 270s of books. Granted, I read a lot of trashy romances this past year just because with everything else that in my life, like weight loss and all that focus, I just did not have the mental capacity to spare on like deep books. So I just read a bunch of trashy romances, and I can read one of those in like an hour or two. But this past month in December, I've actually read a ton of literary books, more literary books, and remembered how much I love them. So I do, again, want to focus on reading in 2019. So my goal is to read 150 books in 2019 with the understanding that a lot of those are going to be just trashy romances, but I want to read at least 6 Pulitzer Prize winners. I have been doing a challenge for the past 2 years that I kind of put a little bit on hold, but I've been trying to read all of the Pulitzer Prize winners. I've read, as of right now, 33%. I've read exactly a third, 30 of the 90 total winners. So I would like to continue on with that challenge. 6 is on the low side, but I didn't hit that this year, even though that was my goal. So I'm going to just try to do it again. That's 1 every 2 months. That is a totally reasonable number. And yeah, so that's my goal. 6 Pulitzer Prize winners, 150 books overall. And then the final bucket is socializing. So socializing, to an extent, makes me happy. I am an introvert. I am someone who gains energy by being alone. I need lots of alone time to feel ready to face the world, which is part of what makes these online communities so attractive. But it's one of those things where you always kind of dread events, and then you go, and it's like a lot of fun. And my friends are very important to me. I love my friends. I love my family, and I am someone who, I'm fairly low maintenance. Like, we could go a year without talking and then I'll pick up right where we left off, but not everyone is that way. So, and you know, it does make me happy to just interact with my friends. So the first one is staying in touch. Most of my close friends and family are not they don't live in the same city as me. Most of them don't even live in the same state as me. So I don't see them very often. So my goal is to call and have a phone conversation with at least one of these faraway friends and family every other month. So twice a month. Sorry, not every other month. Every other week or twice a month. So calling my mom, my dad, calling my college and high school friends that live all over the country. Those are things I want to be doing regularly. And then the second one is activities. So I actually want to see people in person who live near me as well. So my goal is to kind of go out and do something at least every other week. Whether that's axe throwing, whether that's just grabbing coffee or grabbing dinner or going to the movies. I want to do something with someone at least twice a month or every other week. And then the final aspect of this socializing is dating, which I haven't talked about much on this channel. And I still have a video I want to do at some point about like dating and sexuality and all of that stuff and how my fatness has impacted that. But it's just going to be like a very personal video that I haven't, and it's like all over the place in my head. It's not even settled. Anyways, dating has been something that I've been thinking about more and more lately. And I think maybe in 2019, I want to start branching out and doing that. So yeah, I'm not putting like a specific goal around it because it's hard for me to really capture what I want to happen there, but it is a thing that I am aware of and that I want to continue to mull over in the coming year and maybe pursue. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it. Those are kind of my goals. That's how I make them. I hope you guys found this interesting or informative. I know it's not all weight loss related, but it's significantly weight loss related and also just life related, and those things kind of go hand in hand. Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention that I keep forgetting to talk about is that I am going to be going live with Finding Elizabeth, who I'll link above and below. She's awesome. If you don't follow her, she had VSG like 5 years ago, I believe, and she's really smart, really awesome, has a lot of great thoughts. She doesn't make videos as regularly as she used to, but she's got a ton of them on there. And she does this thing called The Naked Truth, where she interviews and talks with bariatric surgery patients, weight loss patients, but basically just chats with people, and you can ask questions and we get to hang out. Anyways, I'm going live with her. We're going to do that. So the plan is to go live on Sunday, December 30th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that would be 8 East Coast time. And I hope to see you guys there. It should be fun. She's really great. I'm really kind of excited to just chat for a bit. I hope some of you guys can show. I think she'll probably be doing like a post with questions. So if you want to follow her on Instagram, I'll also put her Instagram below. You can follow her for updates, and I'll try to remember to post and remind you guys as well. I've honestly been so flat out the past month that it completely slipped my mind to even like promote it. But I am really looking forward to it. So it should be fun. Anyways, this video is already hideously long, but what else is new? I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I hope you guys are excited for the new year. 2018 was a year of change for me, and I think 2019 is just going to be kind of continuing and refining. You know, I feel like when, you see sculptors, they're like, it's like a sketch, It's like someone has sketched the rough me this last year. I was being sketched out. I was being created, but it's all still very rough around the edges. So I feel like 2019 is kind of a year of refinement. We're going to start inking some lines. We're going to start erasing some things, maybe those last 30 pounds. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next year. Hope you guys are too. And yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I'll talk to you very soon.